What is the Ferrari Purosangue? Now, before I come to that, let's talk about another car. Another car that basically changed the game for sports car, supercar brands in the SUV segment. That is the Lamborghini Urus. Now, Lamborghini has always been known for making supercars, and for the first time ever, in their history, they decided to make an SUV. Now, people were skeptical about it, but they went ahead and did it, and they made the Lamborghini Urus, and somehow that car managed to do it. It was sporty, it was fun to drive, it looked like a Lambo, and it had all the utility of an SUV, and that thing sold like hotcakes. Everyone loved the car. Everyone who could buy it bought it, and it was a huge hit for Lamborghini, and especially in terms of profit margins, because they can make a lot more of those cars. So I honestly think the Purosangue was Ferrari's attempt to capture that market as well. Now, Ferrari doesn't claim that the Purosangue is an SUV. They claim it's a Ford or Ferrari utility vehicle or something. And I'm not clear on the naming, but yeah, they don't call it an SUV. But when you look at it and what it's supposed to be, I think everyone would just assume that this is Ferrari's attempt to make an SUV and to compete with the Urus. But when you look at the car, basically, I think you get why Ferrari doesn't call it an SUV, because it's not an SUV, honestly, and it's not a supercar or a sports car either. It's a car that's stuck somewhere in the middle. I mean, when I see this design, I feel like when they were trying to design the car and the proportions of all that, they were going for the SUV look, and halfway through they decided, nah, we're not gonna do this. We're just gonna make a sports car with 4 doors. And that's what they ended up with. Now, the problem with that is you're kind of stuck in the middle, and the middle is not where most people's tastes and preferences lie. They're usually focused on 1 or 2 things. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a Ferrari, so obviously everyone's gonna buy it, but still, it's a little confusing for a lot of people. I mean, yes, it's a Ferrari with a 4-door, and it has a natural aspirated V12, which is awesome. I mean, that's incredible that Ferrari put their flagship V12 in this car. But it's also a bit concerning, considering that the other cars are moving away from the V12s. So this is probably one of Ferrari's best cars in terms of engines. They're SUV-ish, but not SUV car. Yeah, that's a little confusing on another scale, but whatever. Yeah, the Ferrari Purosangue, I think they should have just gone all out and made it into an SUV. And they should have made it big and look similar to, in proportions to the Urus, and kept their Ferrari design language. Now the design of the Purosangue, it's honestly okay. I mean, as far as SUVs go, that design suits it. I mean, would I prefer the previous design language from Ferrari to be put in this car? Obviously. I mean, imagine the 458 and the LaFerrari's front end design was put into an SUV form. That would look insane. But it is what it is, and honestly, the current design language in the Purosangue, it's kind of suits it. It's not that bad. And yes, they obviously added really sophisticated suspension, because it's a utility vehicle, and you're carrying 4 people and luggage and all around it and that. But it should have been bigger. It should have been a full-on SUV. Yeah, that would have been something interesting to see. I wish they did that, but I guess I understand from what their brand is, that they were hesitant to do that for a reason. And it's a good car overall, but I really think it had a lot more potential in terms of an SUV. because when you look at the utility aspect between the Purosangue and the Urus, I think utility-wise the Urus has a beat. Even though in terms of performance and looks and all that, Ferrari has a beat, but this is an SUV, so you kind of have to lean into the SUV part a bit more than the sports car part, even if you are a sports car brand. But obviously it's a Ferrari and almost Ferraris, and it's always going to sell a lot. And personally I like the design, but I think it should have been an SUV. Yeah, so that's my opinion on what the Ferrari Purosangue actually is. I think it's a SUV-ish supercar. I think that's what Ferrari intended with this, and that's why they don't call it an SUV. It's a four-door supercar.